quando l'ultima ape morirà,
When the last bee dies, mankind will have 4 years left to live. This famous quote, attributed to Albert Einstein, sums up very effectively how important bees are for the balance of planet Earth. This is also why the work of beekeepers is so important to our society. This particular form of breeding, in addition to giving us one of the most precious nutrients that nature makes available to us, allows us to safeguard and protect the life of these insects as small as they are essential. Beekeeping has been practiced by humans for several thousand years, virtually all over the world, from the countryside to the cities, from the seaside to the mountains. The latter is the case, for example, of Abruzzo, where nomadic beekeeping is practiced by moving the hives from one natural park to another. 30% of this beautiful and little-known region's territory is protected by parks and reserves, based on the flowering of different wild plants. In the Laga, Gran Sasso, and Serente Velino ranges in the province of L'Aquila, for example, 2 plants, Santoreggia and Stregonia, which both grow more than 850 meters above sea level, provide very interesting single-flower honeys. The latter blooms from May to July and grows up to 1,500 meters above sea level on arid and calcareous soils. The Santoreggia, on the other hand, blooms immediately after, between July and September, and resists up to altitude slightly below 1,300 meters. Santoreggia honey is amber in color, and, once harvested, it tends to crystallize, taking on a soft and creamy structure, while that of Stregonia, lighter in color and with a vaguely floral aroma, remains very liquid. That said, since the higher you go, the more species are present. In the spring, there are over 80 in these mountains, and in summer, more than 130. Even the wildflower honeys that are produced in these territories are particularly interesting. They often give off vegetable essences, which are more delicate in spring and more intense in summer. Encouraging honey harvesting and production is one important method of protecting these mountains, their biodiversity, and, as a result, our survival. With wildflower honey, you can then prepare a typical dessert of the region, known as copercula, made with walnuts and honey, which can be a delicious and original way to end a meal. To make this dessert, start with the copercula, crunchy waffles made from eggs, sugar, spelt flour, cinnamon, and aniseed liqueur. The recipe calls for mixing all the ingredients together and then cooking the resulting batter on a special heated mold called a ferratella. Then we proceed to the filling, which, very simply, is prepared by heating the honey in a saucepan, adding the walnuts, and letting it cook for 5 minutes. At this point, the filling should be placed on a copercula, spread evenly, and then covered and closed with a second wafer by pressing lightly. Once the filling is cold, it is cut into 4 or more slices to be served at the end of the meal or to accompany tea.